I have just come hot off the heels off the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation. And before I get into the things that kind of unsettled me about this, I just want to indulge in all of the great things that came about from this very specific presentation. So just very quickly, rapid fire. Mario Kart World, good heavens, this game looks gorgeous. It makes me so excited, okay? Makes me so excited about this game in particular. Like what a great evolution of just like a formula, because Nintendo is just the master at iteration at the end of the day. And then another thing that I cannot wait. GameCube, please, thank you, very awesome. 120 frames for Metroid Prime 4 at 1080p. That is absolutely unfreaking heard of. Just comparatively, I was expecting like 30 frames. Never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined 120 frames for Metroid Prime 4. So I'm so excited about that. And then just, oh my God, the release of Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like these three games could carry the Switch 2 for the next like 2 years, honest to goodness, and they're all coming out in the same year. So I commend the business practice of planning these releases so stacked back to back to back. And then what are some other things? Yeah, so then one thing I noticed was in the time that this entire live stream was running, there was about 1.5 million people were tuning in, and then it crashed at some point between the middle of the stream, which is not great. I feel very bad for the people that were presenting games at that point. But aside from the great things, I was very much on this just pure, unfiltered joy going through the whole presentation. But there were these lingering caveats and things just kind of that like unsettled me. And it kind of began at the voice chat thing. And I don't know if anybody's talking about this, and I haven't obviously made videos on this very particular channel. You can check out my main one, which is at Connor's Cortex on YouTube. What an unsettling thing I had this realization of, if you don't pay for this online service to use a function on your controller, and if you're not paying the money on this controller, then essentially the button itself is rendered completely useless in the implementation of the C button. So I think this is kind of the good segue into, we talked about the things that have excited me, and now let's talk about why I'm actually making this video. Let me just say first, I think that the price of this console is very fair, because like if we were looking at 2 generations ago, we are still getting like 3 consoles in one here, with like, you have just regular games, like main console home games, then you have mobile games that you would have had with the 3DS development, and then you've also got like the tabletop thing, which I mean, it's kind of a third thing, kind of not, but then if also VR becomes a thing, then you have a third or a fourth supposed option with the Switch 2. But just the biggest blunder of all is the pricing here. And I've been online and I've seen what other people are saying, and I formed my own opinion, thankfully, before I went to see everyone else's, which I implore you to create your own opinion as well, and not just, reshape my opinion, come up with your own conclusions. But in Canada, as of right now, with the Mario Kart bundle, the console costs $790 approximate after tax. And I haven't quite decided how to feel about that. I'm probably going to just sell stuff to buy it at some point, maybe, or not even buy it. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. I'm still in this morally gray area. But then just the biggest blunder of all is in Canada right now. If I was to buy a brand new Switch game, it costs me about $117 after conversions and after taxes. And that is a problem. And the problem is, I can understand that the tariff thing being in place, but even if the tariff were dissolved, Nintendo is not going to drop the price of their games, especially if they recognize that they can charge almost $120 for a brand new Nintendo Switch game. So this is a lose-lose situation for the consumer. And not to be doom and gloom, but I had a somewhat fleeting thought of kind of like intuition of this could spell a different kind of era for Nintendo. Obviously, we have the same people that are running this company, but we don't have, we don't have Reggie Fils-Aimé. Miyamoto-san is kind of stepping back from, the development. And these older characters, and you've got like Sakurai, who are not like as prevalent in the company as they once were. You have these new people stepping in, and these three guys, nothing against them, but they kind of look like the three they look like Alvin and the Chipmunks, I'm sorry. But not only is the prices a concern for me, and I don't entirely know where Nintendo is going to be in the next 10 years, but I had this bad premonition, and I'm not even gonna say what it is. Despite it being $1 billion company, I still have a lot of nostalgic connection to this brand and what they stand for, and just in the creative sense of just like how brilliant that this company has been, growing up. Like Mario has been a brother to me, so I feel like, I'm also gonna make more videos about this stuff on this channel, so do subscribe if you have enjoyed this video so far. But some other things that I did want to mention that have not left my mind are the fact that, like, despite the fact that they are a $1 billion company, and they don't owe it to us to lower the price, obviously, but just look at where they were in 2013. Like, it felt like there was a genuine chance that they could have filed for bankruptcy. This was before the movies, this was before the theme parks. The Switch has enabled them to do so much. Like, it is the consumer that has all of the power in this scenario, right? And during that Wii U era of like 2013, stock was at an all-time low. Investors were not happy at all. But then after the Switch came out, like, who got them out of that hole? It was the consumer. And so I feel like they should at least return the favor, because at least with the tariffs, people are struggling. Like, that's no surprise. So to ask almost $120 CAD for a brand new Switch game is just out of the question for most people. It just is. Obviously, someone in their 20s may very well be able to afford it, and there's going to be those people that are going to become early adopters of it. But at this rate, I don't see people becoming early adopters of the Switch 2. And I think they're going to feel that. Especially because the cost and the production of each games has risen with this generation, because it's 4K, because it's potentially 120 frames per second on 1080p. Like, of course, the games are going to cost more. Like, that is very reasonable, but to charge a sizable percentage more is just not gonna fly for most people, especially if you have families and having a child and buying a Switch for a child. It's not plausible for most people, But of course, because they're a $1 billion company, they can do whatever they want, okay? And that's the bottom line here. One thing I am somewhat happy to see in all of this is that this just proves that regardless of the prejudice that exists in the world, people can collectively get angry about the same thing. As everyone cries blasphemy at Nintendo, what a beautiful moment in time to be alive and just to see this unfold. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe. I'm gonna be releasing more videos onto this channel, especially as the Nintendo Switch 2 is now a thing. And I would love to have you new part of this channel. I've been Connor, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.